Hello and welcome back to the ROI channel, the channel that's obsessed with the art and science of return on investment. Today, a little bit of a personal story for you guys. Hopefully you appreciate it. Just going to talk very briefly about my favorite ROI experience. And it's not necessarily anything big or world-beating or anything like that, but it's the one that means the most to me because it was my first successful entrepreneurial entry, roll up and exit. And let me explain what that means. So started a business from scratch. I bought out another business and took advantage of the synergies by joining the two operations together. Very small time. I was a 24-year-old kid and working way down in the big city, making lots of mistakes, had very little clue what I was doing, learning as I went. And today I'm going to break down purely the numbers. And then if you guys want, I'll go into more detail with a slide presentation and all that sort of thing. So I was a young kid, grew up with no money, no business acumen in the family, no investment acumen, nothing like that. And we just learned from the internet and gritty entrepreneur, scrappy, a lot of balls, not too many brains, and stuck it out. So here is my first ever and my favorite, I guess, example. It's not the best example I have in terms of an ROI perspective, but it is my favorite. I started a professional service business, took over another professional service business and joined them. And so I'll talk about the additional business that I acquired. So purchase price, $52,500. And so not much. And I was able to get like deferred payments on that. Like I literally had nothing. Okay. It was just one of those things back against the wall. This thing came up. It was pretty ugly, really, to be honest. Like it had decent turnover, with negative profit, was a loss-making operation. But I looked through the numbers and I looked through what they were paying their services and their SG&A expenses. And I knew that I could beat that in the expense column, and I knew that I could beat that on the top line. So I would be able to make more revenue and be able to significantly streamline costs with a little bit of creativity and ingenuity around that. So I figured that there was about 150,000 worth of EBIT that I could add conservatively, and I was able to do that, fortunately. So I took over the business, and the numbers in 2 years, had it for 2 years before I received a really good offer, sold it out for personal reasons. And so what I was able to do, I received the sale price of the business, right? And I received 250 grand. So in terms of the equity and that multiple expansion, I was able to get a 5-bagger there. And then I was able to, in the meantime, obviously receiving cash flows from the business. So if we will think about this as a publicly traded business, we bought at a certain price, a certain multiple. We also sold at a higher price, but along the way, we received the dividends. Okay, so that's a way that you can think of it. Now, I've calculated here, and I carry this around in my wallet just because it's just a sentimental thing for me, just a little scrap piece with a reminder of what I can do when I put my stubborn brain to work. And so the cash flows were more like 275 grand, but what I've done is allow for, because I was working and providing some services to the business, I've taken all that out and seeing what it would have made cash flow wise if it was completely, the label was all outsourced or recruited. And so received 135,000 worth of cash flows. So if you add that up, and if you really want, guys, I can go into a presentation and break down the numbers. You're getting a total to owner 384,000 on a purchase price of 52,500 in 2 years. And so the ROI on that, according to the ROI calculator, is 633%. So a 6-bagger in 2 years. And then on an annualized basis, 170% annualized return. So not huge numbers, guys, of course, and this is not advice, but what it might do is give you an idea. If you're out there and you're trying to improve your financial situation and you're trying to improve your investment acumen, this is maybe not the biggest or best story, but it is a real story. And hopefully it gives you confidence that you can go into your chosen field of endeavor, and either through entrepreneurship, you can add value to the business, or investment using capital and financial techniques to be able to improve the situation, or a combination of both, as I just showed you. So that's it. Personal example, a real example, not the biggest, not the best, but it is real. I really hope that you enjoyed that, guys. Any questions, comments, please leave them in the description. And I wish you all the best. Disclaimer, of course, nothing here is advice. It's just what I'm doing, what I've done in this case, and my opinion around certain topics. So keep that in mind. Make sure you are responsible for the decisions that you make. Do your own due diligence, and I look forward to catching up with you with another video shortly.